You're watching Tech Talk in affiliation with Tech for Techs. We're a community that supports independent trade with the help of vendors and distributors. We're live every Thursday at 8 p.m. London time, and we'll be streaming to Facebook and YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. You can listen to our podcast on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Amazon, Google, TuneIn, and many more. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, and your host, Philip Griffiths.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tech for Tech Tech Talk. This is a live IT business podcast or show, and today we have got Aruba on. The show is called Simple Smarter Wi-Fi with Aruba Instant On. Today we're joined with... Today we're also joined by Target. We've got Cory and... I forgot his name. How have I forgot his name? That's what we've got. We're joined by Cory. We've got Sam as well. And for some reason, Dan's name completely disappeared out of my head there for some reason. But we've also got Dan as well at Target. So sorry about that, Dan. Probably just not enough alcohol in my blood system at the moment. So, but we'll try that again. So, right, okay. So let's start with the guys at Target. If you want to introduce yourselves first, let everyone know who you are, who Target is for anyone who doesn't know, and then we'll go on to Sam. So let's start off with you, Dan. Dan. I'm going to lose my words tonight, I think. So Dan, let's start off with you. Who are you? What do you do?
I'm Dan. I'm category manager at Target. Look after networking, motherboards, and graphics cards.
Right, that's absolutely brilliant. And what about yourself, Cory?
I'm Cory. I work for Target Components. I generally do the builds, custom builder, etc. But I do appear on here with yourself quite a few times, and hopefully some more. We've got a bit more to do.
Okay, that sounds pretty good. Let's just quickly go to chat. So, guys, if you can hear us and see us, obviously make sure you comment in the comment section. Make sure to have a laugh at me mispronouncing everything and forgetting everyone's name tonight. That's totally free to do. You can do that. But we have got Cormac watching, so hello all the way to Ireland. I hope you're doing all right, Cormy. Right, okay, Sam, if you want to introduce yourself, let everyone know who you are and what you do, and tell us a little bit about Aruba.
Yeah, let's do it. So I'm Sam Hillman-Hill. I manage the Aruba Instant On channel business for the UK. So really pleased to be on the show today. So thanks, Phil, for hosting. And really pleased to be here with Target Components. So they're a really key partner for us in this space. And what I want to run through today is the portfolio, essentially. So we've got a really exciting, it's a newish portfolio from Aruba. So I'll flash up some sort of slides, if that's okay. I'll sort of run through what Aruba Instant On is. Hopefully I'll sort of help alleviate maybe some concerns people have around the Aruba brand in its sort of legacy in terms of maybe complexity of being an enterprise sort of networking vendor. We've really sort of simplified that down with the Instant On portfolio. So it's going to be quite an interesting, I think, sort of conversation we can have today. And then I think I'll bring it alive potentially. It's a cloud managed sort of networking platform. So we can spend some time and do a bit of a live demo. So
That sounds absolutely brilliant. That does.
Things that works for you guys?
Yeah, that sounds absolutely brilliant. Let's just quickly go to chat. So it looks like Cory and Dan have got the spotlight on them tonight. So you better perform well because I see your boss is there. And we've got Sonia as well. So we better not mention anything about karaoke. And then we've got a few people. We've got Trisha. Looks like the whole of Target are watching tonight by the looks of it.
Yeah.
And we've got Nicola as well saying hi as well. So hi, Trish at Target. So, right, okay, Sam, if you want to launch your presentation, we'll get it up on the screen. I'm just going to turn the chat off, guys, just for now, so I can maximize this screen so everyone can see it, but we'll be able to get back to the chat afterwards. So don't worry, your messages won't be deleted or anything like that. So here we go. So there we go. Should be able to see ourselves.
Cool. Can you guys see the slides up?
Yep.
Yep.
Cool. Let's dive straight into things. So I'll give a little bit of history in terms of sort of where Instant On's come around, and I guess a bit of history on Aruba as well, and where that I guess pedigree in being sort of an enterprise networking vendor over a number of years has really sort of put us in a good stead in terms of creating a really good networking portfolio for the small business space. So I'm sure sort of a lot of listeners on the stream today probably know who Aruba are. Founded back in 2002, really focused on sort of the mid-market sort of enterprise networking space for those 17 plus years. And to be able to be successful in that space, you've got to be good at creating high performant, reliable networking products with a great support experience. And it was a very intentional decision for us over the years to focus on that mid-market sort of enterprise networking space. And we left the small business space and I'll sort of touch on some bits around prosumer actually, because we're kind of finding ourselves sort of move into that market as well with this portfolio. But we intentionally sort of left that small business space quite untouched. We had a couple of products that might fit into that space. We probably didn't really have a complete portfolio, a proposition, and I think what's really key here is an affordable price point and simplicity around the network deployment and configuration on those more enterprise type kit. But we've got a lot of great products. So about 3 years ago now, I would say, we developed Aruba Instant On, essentially. And what that is our portfolio to address that small business market. And we've kind of kept it quite separate to the enterprise portfolio on purpose. It's a lot more simplistic in terms of the design. It's a lot more simplistic in terms of the procurement of it. The likes of Target has made it super simplistic for resellers, customers to buy, and it's at a really affordable sort of price point. But essentially, sort of under the hood, we're leveraging all of the capabilities of enterprise Aruba. We're kind of shifting that down into the small business space and doing that at that really affordable price point. So the kit itself, in terms of the performance here, it's really good quality connectivity. It's a really good experience for users connecting onto that network, and it's a really reliable experience as well. And we back that up with our sort of warranty and support terms, which I will touch on a little bit later down the line. But essentially what it is, it's a portfolio of access points and switches. I'll go into what we've got in each of those ranges in a second. But everything is cloud managed. And we have the mobile app version of the Instant On cloud management platform, and we also have the web portal as well. So you've got the flexibility in terms of how you want to manage those devices remotely. And it is a true sort of single pane of glass view as well. So you can see your APUs and switches, and you can manage them through that one platform. I sort of touched on that point around simplicity, and you can see here when I run through a bit of a demo, it is super simplistic to manage an Instant On network. We've obviously targeted it towards the small business market, small businesses are in the business of what makes them different. If that's, a small sort of boutique shop, pub, bars, cafes. Dan Ward talking about the pub a second ago. They are focusing on what makes them different as a business. They're limited on resources. They don't have IT teams, etc. They don't know IT really. So we designed it to be really easy to set up and manage. But also think about if you're a reseller or an MSP, the ease of deployment is going to be super simplistic and quick and easy for you to deploy and then manage your customers' networks as well. So the design is super simplistic. You have that true sort of single pane of glass, cloud remote management, super easy to use, high quality kit, the connectivity experience, the support and reliability of the kit is there, but it's all at this affordable price point for small businesses with no additional cost at all. So you're getting that cloud management in the cost of the hardware. So you don't have to think about upcoming licensing costs, predicting that in, forecasting and budgeting that into future projects, etc. You just buy the APs and the switches, and you're good to go.
Sounds good. Chat's a little bit quiet, but guys who are watching, if you do have any questions, no matter how small they are or simple they seem, if you don't know anything about networking, feel free to send them in. I'm pretty sure Sam and the target team will be able to talk you through the basics and even have a live chat with you or give you a call at some point and help you if you are struggling and help you. So I'll let you get back on with that, Sam.
Cool. Yeah, feel free. I kind of want to keep this interactive. So yeah, any questions that pop up, let me know. I'm happy to answer. But this is our wireless lineup as it currently stands. We've got a number of currently 4. You'll start to see sort of more, and in the coming weeks there's going to be a new AP actually coming into the family here. But currently we've got 4 wall or ceiling mounted APs. 3 of them are Wi-Fi 5, and we have a Wi-Fi 6 certified AP, which is the AP22. And these vary on the number of radios and the performance stats in terms of throughput. So the performance metrics and the density, how many active users you can have per AP, they scale essentially as you go up through the stack here. So put it into perspective, the AP11s, the 2x2s at the bottom, probably support around comfortably sort of 50 active clients per AP. And right up the top here, the AP15, probably comfortably around sort of 100, and the 12 and the 22 sort of sit in the middle around sort of 75 active clients. So sort of have a think about how dense that environment is, how many devices are connecting to those particular APs, and we've got different models dependent on those environments. Just to give you a bit of choice, we're not trying to bore the ocean and have too many APs that it becomes complex to know actually which one to choose. I feel like we've got just the right number here to give you enough choice, but to keep it again in that whole theme of simplicity, just enough. We also have a desk-mounted version of the AP11. Stats are exactly the same, except you have 3 additional ports at the bottom here, one of which supplies pass-through PoE. And I touched on that point around sort of like the prosumer sort of smart home market. I'm actually finding this is really quite a popular AP in that space, or even sort of like remote sort of home workers sticking an AP11D next to my desk here, and hardwiring your laptop, etc. That's a really good use case. But you can actually also remove the desk mount and wall mount this one. And I've seen a lot of people sort of put that on the wall next to your TV and hardwiring like a Sky Q box or any other sort of devices that need a hardwired connectivity or close to CCTV cameras and the like. So it's quite a good sort of multifunctional sort of AP, and pretty good for that sort of home user, prosumer sort of smart home sort of space as well. Far right hand side here, this is our outdoor access point. Really key thing to start thinking about now as we're sort of running up to the summer, sort of hospitality, outdoor, restaurants, pubs, bars, etc. It's really popular during sort of lockdowns in terms of enabling mobile app ordering. So a lot of people sort of waving their phones around trying to connect to whatever pub's mobile app it is. They can order their pint, etc. Outdoor connectivity is key to do that. And the AP17 is weatherproofed and it's omnidirectional as well. So we've got both sort of indoor, outdoor, and sort of desk-mounted APs in the portfolio, and all of them support smart mesh as well. So if you've got any dead spots, you don't want to hardwire connection into them, you can smart mesh from one AP to the next and expand that network coverage.
Okay, that sounds good. Do I have a question about price? I don't know if that's something Target will want to answer, or the best answer is go to the website. I'm not sure, but I'll let Dan and Cory answer that one.
No, I can answer that one. Hi, Cormac. In regards to price, as this video will be publicly available, I'd rather not say that out. Otherwise, people will know what you're paying. I'll certainly get someone to give you a call tomorrow with the best price they can give you.
It's worth mentioning they are very cost effective compared to other products out there. The price sits right where it should do, really. But yeah, check our website. There's plenty of information on there, Cormac.
I'll sort of chip in there. I don't want to sort of name names in terms of sort of competitive vendors, but think about other sort of small business networking vendors. We're benchmarked very similar to those guys.
Okay, I think that answers that. I'll let you get back to it, Sam.
Not a problem at all. So from a switching perspective, this is the portfolio as it currently stands, and you'll sort of get the gist in terms of where we're going from a roadmap perspective, and you'll see this develop out over the year as we bring sort of new switches into the portfolio. But the first switch that we launched and brought in, and it is 100% our most popular switch, is the 1930. It sort of sits in the middle in terms of features, functionalities, and covers pretty much everything that small businesses needs, and hits that really good price point as well. So the 1930 is a layer 2 plus smart managed switch, and you've got 1 gig ports here with 10 gig uplinks, and you've got both we got 8 24 port and 48 port variants, either non-PoE or PoE options as well. So you've got that flexibility in terms of the number of ports you need, and if you need power over Ethernet or not on the 1930. Moving up the stack slightly, we got the 1960. So you can see here sort of features and functionalities are increasing, and the price point does too slightly to warrant that investment in those greater functionalities. The difference here with the 1960 is it's a stacking switch, so you can cloud, local, or sort of hybrid stack up to 4 switches in a stack if you want to create a more resilient environment and improve, I guess, the simplicity of managing that switch and controlling essentially 4 switches as one. We also have 2 10 gig Ethernet ports on the sides here. So you can see in the 24 port and the 48 port variants, you've got the 2 10 gig Ethernet ports along with the fiber uplinks. That's a key thing to think about in terms of what else is in that infrastructure stack. Have you got compute servers or storage arrays, etc., which need that higher throughput? The 1960 is a great switch to put in there to have that 10 gig connectivity. We've also got a mixture here, the 1930s, 1830s, all class 4 PoE on the PoE options. On the 1960, you've got a mixture of class 6 and class 4. So on the 24 and 48 port variants, 4 or 8 ports would be class 6. So this is quite a good use case in sort of CCTV type deployments. If you've got cameras which do super high def, up, down, left, right, need loads of power consumption to work, class 6 is going to be key here, and the 1960 has a number of those ports to be able to supply that power throughput. We also have the option of a aggregator switch as well, and that's the one at the top here. So depending on your network design, you can have that aggregator to create a more resilient switching architecture. And I guess moving right the way down to the bottom now, you've got the 1830, really similar to the 1930, we just bring the price point down slightly by reducing the number of PoE ports and the PoE variants. So if you've got 8, 24, 48 port, half of those ports will actually be PoE and the rest won't be. And that's just something to consider on deployments which don't need every single port to have PoE supplied to it. You can think about the cost perspective there and bringing it down slightly and positioning the 1830. I've got some slides. I don't know. We can do sort of a follow up afterwards. I don't want to sort of do death by slides, but I've got some sort of like one pages on each of those slides in the family and the APs and bits, which we can send across afterwards, and you can get sort of a bit more detail. But I think this is quite a good sort of map in terms of what switches do we have in the Instant On family. You can kind of see where the rest of the portfolio is sort of developing as it gets brought into Instant On. And where they fit in terms of sort of feature functionality and sort of price point as well in the stack.
Okay, sounds pretty good. We do have another question. Again, it's from Cormac again. He's a bit popular tonight. He's saying, how simple are they to set up? My networking skills are not great. And does it have an app on the phone? Do you need to know much about networking? It will be for small offices and home offices in his case.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll run through Cormac as sort of a live demo of a setup I've got at home here. I've got a number of sites, and you can have a look at what the management platform looks like. In terms of not knowing much about networking and getting set up for the first time, when you do that in the management platform, it guides you through those steps. So when you plug a switch in, it becomes discoverable. The same happens with an AP. When you bring it into when you turn on the mobile app, it will take you through sort of a step-by-step guide. So you go, create a new site. Yes, move on to the next site. It will go, right, search for devices, click search. It will, as long as the devices are discoverable, it will find them, bring them into the network and configure them automatically for you. So they'll be up and running. And then your site will be live. And I'll show you the view in a second. But it's really simple in drilling down into each tile. In terms of the point around the mobile app, yes, there is. I'll show obviously the web portal version, but there is a mobile app as well.
That's one of the key things what we wanted to get across with this is the pure simplicity of it. Cory's been trying some out today. Simple as unbox it, plug it in, open the app, scan a QR code, and it really is that simple. Just follow the steps.
Exactly that.
Sounds pretty good.
Nice. So sort of going back to that point in terms of, I guess, sort of the credibility of Aruba in this space. We have been in the networking industry for 17 plus years. We've got a lot of experience in this space. The products are really high quality, and we're backing that from a warranty and a support perspective as well. So on our switching portfolio, it's limited lifetime warranty. So we'll cover it for the lifetime of that switch. Or 5 years after the end of sale date, which this is a new portfolio for us, so it's many years in the future. From a AP perspective, it's 2 years warranty, and that's from the turn on date when you bring it into the cloud management platform. So if you're keeping a few units on in hand for your next job, you don't need to worry about the clock, the timer ticking, and you're eating into your warranty time. Is from that turn on date into the cloud management platform. And you get that full support experience, telephone support for the first 90 days, and that will move over to our chat support. And it's the same support organization that our enterprise customers benefit from, and the warranty on our enterprise kit benefits from. It's exactly the same. It sort of goes back to that point is we're leveraging all of this good capabilities down into our small business portfolio with Instant On. So those small business customers and prosumers can benefit from the same experience. We also have support pack options alongside. Aruba is a really big organization. We're owned by Hewlett Packard Enterprise, and we've got service delivery capabilities across the whole of the UK. So if you did need more enhanced support, we've got Foundation Care, which are our support packs, which you've attached alongside the hardware, which from an AP perspective will extend that coverage for 3 years. You get a dedicated SLA, next business day arrival on parts, but you've got full access into telephone support, etc. On those APs. And it's a similar thing on the switching side. You just got 3 or 5 year options on the foundation care support there.
Okay, that sounds pretty good. I've got another question just come in from Peter. Let me just get it up on the screen if it's going to. Here we go. Is it correct that the switches can either be set as locally managed or cloud managed, but not both? And that the cloud management has a lot less features than when locally managed?
Spot on, 100% correct. So yeah, at the moment you can either or locally or cloud manage the switches. On the AP side, it's cloud only. There is on the roadmap, and completely echo those comments. The capabilities locally managed are more advanced than what you can do on the cloud side. It is our intent to develop what you can do from a cloud perspective out a lot further. We're just not at that stage yet, but it's definitely something that we've earmarked to improve.
Okay, that's pretty good. And I'll just say hi to Kunal, who's saying he's from ILGS. If you don't know ILGS, it stands for I Love Going Shopping, which no woman has ever said. And we also got Peter saying hi as well earlier. So, right, okay. So, I'm not being sexist, guys. I just know what my wife's like. So, right, okay. So, let's move on then, Sam, before I get in trouble.
Not a problem at all. So I guess sort of like wrapping around everything is, why Aruba Instant On. I sort of touched on those points around simplicity. I'll go into the platform in a second, but it is super simple to set up and manage. And it really suits that type of that customer in the small business space. From a security perspective, I didn't touch on it too much. I think it's good to sort of touch on now. Is it's all sort of built in. You've got ACLs, access control lists on both wired and wireless. You've got things like content filtering, which I can show in the portal in a second. And you've got things like WPA3 security on wireless, which is the latest wireless security standard. So we've got you covered from a security perspective. We've got you covered from the performance. It's really good enterprise quality kit, but at an affordable price point. So the connectivity experience is super strong and reliable. And you've got no hidden fees or costs. There's no licensing fees for the cloud management platform. It's just one upfront cost for the hardware, and you're ready to go. And just touching back on that point is, Aruba's been in the game for a very long time, and we've been in the game at the top end of the networking stack. We got a lot of pedigree as being an enterprise networking vendor. We're just leveraging all those capabilities down into the small business space. So we're there to support you and your customers with our high quality enterprise kit.
Okay, that sounds pretty good. Got a question came in earlier, and it's basically, do you get charged extra after like the first year for the management console, or is it all built into the product for like a lifetime service and so forth?
Lifetime service. There's no additional cost at all. So nothing in future years. It's by the APs, by the switches, cloud management. You're sorted.
Okay, that's pretty good because I actually had an issue with, I won't say the name of the place or what products were reviewed, and they were basically like, oh yeah, we'll start charging you after a year, but we don't know what the pricing is yet.
I've had similar.
which isn't a good start, to be honest, because you didn't know it was going to be a tenner a month or it was going to be a tenner a year or $1,000 or whatever. They just didn't know how much they were going to charge when they released the product, which was a little bit strange. But yeah, if it's free for lifetime or as long as you've got the product, obviously, then that's brilliant.
Completely
Exactly
free of charge, and no extra hardware needed anyway either. So no need for an additional controller. It's all internet controlled through the cloud.
And talking of which, should we get demoing of what that cloud management platform should look like?
Absolutely.
Yeah, run us through the for that, and then we'll go for a full-on Q&A afterwards with all what we've got left.
Cool, nice. I've switched screens. Can you guys see?
Yeah, I can see. Yeah, Aruba Instant On. Yeah.
Nice. So this is the view when you log into the cloud management platform. So I've got a number of sites set up here. I think it's quite good. This is sort of like a demo site. I know it's one of my friends' site has unplugged their AP, so it's quite a nice view to see, what's potentially gone wrong, and sites which are, all green, all healthy, everything's, plain sailing, and the network's up and running. So there's theoretically no limit on the number of sites you can have per user. So this is my portal sort of login, and the sites will just list down here, and they'll just continue to go down. I'll be conscious of, I think we theoretically tested it up to around sort of 500 sites, but when you're getting up to that sort of number, it's going to be quite a lot to sort of view and sort of flick between. So we would be conscious of how many sites are you setting up and sort of managing here, which doesn't make it too much of a burden. But small businesses don't have, they're small businesses, that's their nature. They don't have a huge number of sites. So I'll flick into this is my setup right now at the moment. So when you go into the site here, you have a banner at the top saying what's going on with that site. So I've got a green tick, good, everything's okay. You can see on the other ones if something happened, if touch wood, my AP didn't go down now, it would go amber, something's happened on this AP. If it's been down a little bit longer, it would go red, bad, this has been down for a while. So simple sort of highlight of what's going on. You can also set up push notifications on the phone or email notifications if something happens. So if you're away from your site, you're delivering managed service to your customers and bits, you want to be responsive, downtime, cost businesses, all that sort of good stuff. They can't connect to the network. You can get those notifications automatically sent to you if something happened. I've had these for, I think, 2 years now, and it's been a super rare occasion if an AP went down. You've got the 4 tiles here. So you've got your network, so you can make network configuration changes. You can see who's connected from a client perspective, what's happening in terms of the data that's going through the network, and you can see how your network is created and add in new devices and have a look at that topology in the inventory bit there. So if I go into the network, I can see I've got one network set up. That's the one I'm connected to at the moment. So I better make sure I don't delete it. I've done that before live on a demo, which wasn't good from my side, but I can change naming conventions here. I've just got a normal network set up, password protected. I can turn on WPA3 security here and change the network password. You've got radius authentication if you want to link that through to a radius server. And you can see it is quite simple in terms of sort of tick box changes on what you want to do. So I've got ticks here, optimized for video streaming. I could tick this here and change the bandwidth usage. I can limit that per client or per network and simply sort of scale that up and down. Got different IP and network assignment settings here, radio settings, etc. And you can kind of get the gist here. I can set schedules of when that network turns on and off. Good for hospitality customers, a cafe, if they're only open 9 till 5 or whatever. You can have that network turn on between those days and those times. And again, you can see the simplicity is tick that, change that, etc. Restricted, unrestricted access applications. I could turn off these different applications. And that's where the content filtering would kick in. So I won't do anything just so I don't muck up my network. If I was to create a new network, you just go add, and I just simply go, let's go wireless network. I can call it guest. I could do it portal, captive portal in there, click save. And I've simply created a new network. So it's really as simple as that to do. You can create up to 8 different SSIDs. So you can have 8 different networks going at the same time. So I've created a network there, and I've created the captive portal version. So I can click into that and I can create my own captive portal. So I can start doing over there, talks, etc. Put in different logos and change the format, etc. and that's you creating your captive portal on mobile or laptop view. You can link through a Facebook business page or use a third-party provider like Purple Wi-Fi, R Labs, etc. If you wanted to do something a bit more advanced from a captive portal perspective. But yeah, super simple to set up. I'm pausing to see if
whatever you do, just don't. Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, whatever you do, don't disconnect your own internet while you're on a live show. It's not a good idea. So, yeah, chat's a little bit quiet, to be honest. But, guys, if you are in chat, just if you've got any questions, send them over, no matter how basic they are. If you don't know the difference between what an AP is or PoE, or if you anything along that lines, managed, unmanaged, so forth, just ask. Obviously, everyone has to start somewhere, so you don't have to be advanced to get started. And it's a decent thing to get into is doing managed services like this, because you can get yourself a monthly income, and what's better than money coming in every month, and you have to do a bit of work for it, but it keeps coming in if you're selling it on, obviously, as a service as well. So, right, Sam, I'll let you carry on.
Cool, no problem. So I think touching on that point, being a managed service provider and delivering that support experience is really key. Profitability, etc., like you touched on, is great. Instant On really fits into that quite nicely, is because of the simplicity. So so you don't really have to do too much. You really don't have to do too much with Instant On. So you can be really quite profitable and efficient in delivering that managed service, which is really key. So I covered sort of the network itself. I can have a look into who is actually connecting to my network. So you can get that complete visibility of the different devices that are on your network. So you can make sure the right people are on your network. You can block them. They shouldn't be on there, and put them into the block section. And you can see what their connectivity experience is like. So that's a really good way of troubleshooting if somebody's one of your customers is moaning, my connectivity experience isn't good, etc. You can see, well, what you're connecting on to your iPads. Oh, actually, your connectivity experience is green. It's strong. It's really close to that AP, and it's having a good connection experience. So it gives you that complete visibility of what network it's connected to and what access point it's connected to, and it's got a good strength and good connectivity experience there. And you can see what different devices are doing on that particular network as well. So that's quite a nice view there of giving you the visibility of actually what is going on your network from a user or client perspective.
Sounds pretty good. Question I've got come in on a message is the warranty. What is the warranty like? So if I have a problem with the product, do I have to return it to Aruba, or do I have to return it to Target? And so what's the sort of turnaround time?
Yeah, of course. So the response is super quick. So log a ticket straight away, and we'll get back to you really quickly. It's direct support with Aruba. And we'll take everything from there. So if it did come down to the case, we will support you in doing the diagnosis of what the problem is. And if it is the case that you need a replacement AP or switch, we will cover for you the shipping and collection, shipping of the new switch and the collection of the faulty switch as well. So there's no additional costs or anything that you need to worry about. The support organization takes care of all of that for you, and they're really quick in responding. I would say warranty, there's no a dedicated SLA, but pretty much most times it is sort of next business day, because we have the service delivery capabilities across the whole of the UK. It's there in place, ready to go.
Okay, that sounds pretty good. That does, to be honest with you. I'll let you carry on with the next bit.
Cool. I dive straight into, you can see this application tab here. It's just kind of a summarized view of what's going on your network as a whole. So it gives you that nice visibility there as well. But I think probably the most interesting bit is the topology and how you sort of bring in new devices and set up new devices and make changes to those devices. It's all in that inventory tab. So you go into here, you can have a look at your topology. So this site, I haven't got anything too exciting going on. Have a look at another site in a second. But I simply got my internet connectivity coming into my 1930. I've got a little 8-port PoE switch there, and then I've got just one Wi-Fi 6 AP22 connecting off of that. So if you had more APs, etc., coming off of that switch, you can see what that design looks like. I could go into, and you can see here, I think this is when I potentially set it up. It's been live running for a month. I haven't had a single glitch or downtime in that period. So they do remain live for a very long time, which is good. So you can see I've got my access point here. You can pull details around sort of the serial number and addresses there. You can change the naming convention and see how that's connected and different IP identifiers there as well. And it will tell you, obviously, if you're broadcasting both the 2.4 gig and 5 gigahertz radios, you can drill into and see what clients are connected onto those different channels. So if I clicked on the 4, it will pull up a list of who's connected to that particular channel. You can just change some IP settings here. There's no additional ports on the access points. I'll go into the switch in a second. You can see your radio settings, and you've got some actions here if you want to perform some sort of remote connectivity test, restart an AP remotely, or if you have loads of APs dotted around, you don't know which one's which, you can get it to flash a light as well, so you can spot it, and that's the one you might need to replace out if it does go down. Up here, the little sort of, sorry, was there?
Sorry, I was just saying that sounds good. We do have another question come in. I don't know if you're able to answer this one now, but it's from Cormac again. Which kit would be the best to get to test and learn how to use it? I just want to test it at home before I would deploy.
Yep, so I'm happy to help sort of organise through Target. We do have sort of a demo kit we can loan out. It's got a couple of AP12s and a 1930 switch in there. So let's touch base, call me afterwards, we can get that set up. Otherwise, any really. We don't really have, say, an NFR type program in place sort of currently. So you would have to buy, an AP or switch sort of up front. They're all, the management platform is sort of exactly the same across each ones. The performance stats obviously change. So maybe go for, an AP11, because that's probably our lowest cost AP, just to get stuck in and get testing, and maybe an 1830 or something, 8-port. That's probably the lower cost switch, and that can get you up and running and testing on what you can do on the switching side. So we've got a couple of things. Maybe let's catch up on the loan kit we might be able to send out. Otherwise, just go for some of the lower cost models just to get up to speed on it.
Okay, sounds pretty good. I'll let you carry on with that one onto the settings.
Nice.
I think it was.
Yep. So up in the top right hand side here, you've got a little sort of like settings dial. You can go into some sort of deeper settings in terms of sort of radio management. All of the APs themselves have ARM, so adaptive radio management. So it will automatically configure the channels. So all you got to do, again, goes back to that simplicity. Just plug the APs in, and they'll figure themselves out in terms of what channels to select to make sure there's no interference between each of the APs. If you did want to sort of change some of those settings, you can go into here and you can select different channels on there and different transmit powers. Again, you can do deeper things around sort of loop protection, power schedules, and sort of DNS settings as well. But that's only if you want to get sort of a bit deeper from a configuration perspective. So that's kind of covered off on the AP side. On the switching side, again, sort of a similar view here. You can obviously see I've got a PoE switch, so you can see what budget I've got available to use and how much I've actually used. Again, similar settings in terms of IP settings. This is probably a little bit more interesting now when you get into sort of port settings. So you can see I've got my WAN connectivity in here. I've got my AP22 connected here, and you can see the devices connected off of that. And then I've got a few other devices connected in. So I've got a hub into port 3. And this is where you can drill down into a bit more settings per port on that switch. So I can have authentication and security settings if that's port-based or client-based. And again, simply tick those boxes. I could lock that client to that port. So if somebody was to unplug that device and plug their device in, they were trying to hack into the network and whatever, you can lock that particular device to that port just to increase sort of security there, and just simply tick that box. And you can prioritize power to that particular port as well. So if it's a critical CCTV camera that you don't want any fluctuations in that power budget, you can say always prioritize this port for power first over other ports, so you can make sure that CCTV camera is always up and running. And you can drill into those settings per port. If you're creating different VLANs, different networks, this is where you select and put that network through that port. So if you're doing like an IoT network or a guest network, etc., you can tag those networks onto the ports here. And it is quite simple. Select the port, tag the network, and you're up and running. You can do link aggregation, again, sort of simple. And you've got different similar sort of actions, connectivity tests here, activate lights, restart it remotely. And this is where you can switch the switch to local management if you need to. There is a really key thing, further tools here on port mirroring. There's a key thing to consider on the inventory here. So I kind of dived into the settings, the topology, etc. I kind of covered how many sites you can have per user. There theoretically isn't a limit. Where there is a limit is on the inventory. So we designed this obviously to be relevant to small businesses. It's not huge deployments. So there is a hard cap on the number of devices you can have per site, which is 25. So that's either or AP switches. You might see 23 APs, 2 switches, which might max it out. That's that inventory limit per site. You can create multiple sites per user, but there is that inventory limit per site.
Okay, sounds good. We do have another question regarding, well, it's basically from William Murr. He's basically saying, can you send him an actual unit to play with as well? Obviously, William, I'd say get in contact with Target, and obviously they've probably only got so many units to go round, so if tomorrow they get 500 people calling them all asking for one test unit, it might be a bit of a struggle, but...
We'll create the list.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, William, get in touch with Target. We'll figure something out.
If you buy one, we'll send you one.
Well, that sounds like a pretty good deal.
Good deal.
Cool.
I don't know.
But yeah, adding devices, really simple. If I had an AP sat next to me here, if it was discoverable, it's got the little flashing lights on, I simply go search for my device. It would find it. It would bring it into the network. It would configure it and broadcast all of the settings you've set in that network tab, and you're good to go. So it really, really is that simple.
Sounds pretty good.
Right,
I've got another question for you, and this is one what Target can answer for a change. Okay, so do we have any point of sales material available, guys, for this?
Would you like to go on then?
Not at the moment, but it is something that we're looking into with Sam.
Okay, no problem. I'll let you off then with that one.
If you let us know what kind,
weren't I?
If people let us know what kind of thing they'd like to see, then I'm sure we can work on something together and arrange that.
That's absolutely fine. So was that the end of the demonstration then, was it, Sam?
Everything from my side, yeah. I thought I'd get the slides down so I can see you guys properly and help answer any questions.
Put the chat back on if any more chat comes in. Let's have a look. We do have one what came in a few seconds ago from Peter. Are there AX 4x4 internal, AX external, and possibly desktop APs on the roadmap? Also, are there any sort of Aruba partner programs?
So there is, I alluded to sort of more Wi-Fi 6 coming down the line. You'll sort of see in probably sort of next week, I think it is, maybe the week after, launching a 4x4 Wi-Fi 6 AP internal antennas, and that'll be obviously an internal AP as well. So keep your eyes posted on that. That's hot off the press and will be coming down the line shortly. Possibility of I personally haven't seen a desktop Wi-Fi 6 yet, but you can kind of see, I guess, the transition of the portfolio more towards Wi-Fi 6. I would imagine that would be, on the future roadmap. When, I'm not too sure, but it's the 4x4 which will be hitting the market really soon. And in terms of partner program, let's have a conversation with us and Target, and we'll pick that up.
Okay, sounds pretty good. Got another one in for Target. What do you have to be a customer of Target? Do you have to be VAT registered? Do you have to have a brick and mortar building? Do you, I don't know, have to sing and dance to let them know that they're there? Or what are the rules to basically join up as an account for Target?
There is an account application process, which is on the website. You'll be able to see that at the top right-hand corner. You don't have to be bricks and mortar. You just have to prove that you are a trade customer. We need to protect trade customers. We need to make sure we're not selling to the public. Just go through the application process. If there's anything that we need any more information on, we'll contact you directly.
And you need to buy down a pint.
The one thing that I want to add that Sam just missed off is that all the Aruba setup is pre-certified for any medical. So if anyone's got any dentistry, anything like that, all the Aruba items, all the access points are already pre-certified for these. So they won't interfere with any medical equipment.
Oh, okay. That's pretty good. So that's not something I'd thought about, but yeah, that's pretty good. Looks like Sonia's plugging something. You may want to comment a bit more on that one, Dan or Cory. Is she saying basically about Sam can speak to William next week regarding a demo unit?
Well, that's available for all our customers, I believe. I think our event is next week, and Sam will be there. And anyone that obviously our event's sold out, but anyone that can't get to our event is more than welcome to come to the Tech for Tech events. I believe there are a few tickets left, and again, we will be showcasing the Aruba there.
Absolutely.
That's pretty good. And again, I'll be at the Target event as well, and I'll also be at our own event, hopefully, anyway. So yours is next Friday, is it? To remind anyone who's got a ticket for yours?
It is, yep, Friday the 13th.
Oh, that's a good date, isn't it?
Isn't it?
Well,
if you get Sonia singing at the end of the day as well, it being Friday the 13th, that must be an event and a half in itself.
Oh, it'd definitely be worth coming to.
There we go. And for anyone who wants to know, if you don't already know, we do have daytime tickets left at TechMax, which is on the 24th of June, which is also a Friday. Right, okay, let's get on with any more questions we've got. So, guys, if you have got any questions, just send them over. We're going to call the end of the show pretty soon. So, if you've got any questions, just let us know. We do have actually one, which was one what I sort of said earlier on, is what is the difference between managed and unmanaged? So, I'm presuming they mean an access point or in general.
Yeah, so I'm happy to take that one. So, managed is you're able to change settings essentially on it, so you can go a little bit deeper in terms of when the cloud management platform is managed, so you can see all of that good stuff. You can change settings on the APs and switches. If it was unmanaged, you simply plug it in and it will start. From a switch perspective, it either supplies the power and the data, or just the data through the ports. There's nothing you can do from a configuration perspective. You just plug it in and it goes. There are circumstances where you might need unmanaged. It's just cheap and cheerful. You plug it in, you're good to go, and Bob's your uncle essentially. But the good thing about managed is you get all that visibility of who's connecting to your network, creating new networks, captive portals, all that sort of good stuff. So it depends on the use case. But yeah, unmanaged, just simple plug and play. Managed is you can do all those nice settings.
Okay, I think that pretty much answers that one. Next we've got is, what are the reseller margins like for these? Are they competitive? Obviously, if we're getting them from Target rather than, shall we say, certain places what start with A and, well, basically go from A to Z, should we say? If you get the meaning.
Yeah, so I'm going to be impartial here. We don't influence at all what the channel makes. So I'll pass it over to Target if you guys want to comment on that one at all.
Great.
There's margin available. There is certainly margin available in them. The key thing with this stuff is sell it as a package. You're selling the hardware, but also the installation, the management, and sell your services alongside that.
Okay, sounds pretty good. I think that's the best way to do a lot of things these days, even on the lines of security, backup, and all stuff, is try and sell things as a service. You'll earn more money out of it in the long run and so forth. So it's always something to look at. And obviously, you get to keep customers longer as well. There's less chance they're going to jump ship because obviously you've got them tied, well, not necessarily tied down, but you're obviously their point of call for all these technical needs whenever they need them. So right, it doesn't look like we've got any more questions coming in, so it looks like Dan will be able to get off to the pub pretty soon, and Cory as well. Is it going to be a Guinness by any chance, Dan?
Not sure, mate. Probably orange juice.
Yeah, right. So I believe you. Right, so let's put some final thoughts on this. So, Sam, give us 2 minutes of why people should buy Aruba over whatever else.
I'm going to go back to the point. I know I've said it multiple times. Simplicity, so key. It's so easy for you guys to deploy, manage. You don't need to be an expert. Your customers don't need to be an expert in networks. You just plug and play. You're ready to go, and you've got all the good stuff around the cloud management platform. The quality of the kit. Aruba's been long-standing in the networking space, number of years. It's good stuff. And it's reliable stuff, so you're not going to be going back on site to make those changes, and it's affordable. So you're really going to catch the eye of some of your customers, and it's going to be a really good sort of affordable networking solution that they need to do whatever they want to do in their business. So sort of 3 things: simplicity, quality, and affordability.
Right, sounds pretty good. I've just noticed we do have one question coming, which I missed, from William. He says, I note that Aruba Instant On is part of Hewlett-Packard Enterprise. Are the products made of good quality?
Yeah, I can give some a bit of history there, actually, and it might make you sort of understand where that sort of acquisition came around. Aruba became famous over the years for wireless technology in the sort of mobility area. Wireless kit was really good in the way that we roamed between different APs and managed clients on the APs. All that technology was really quite proprietary and clever. That's why Aruba became famous for. But our switching wasn't very good, being completely honest. The APs were good, switching wasn't. So back in 2015, I think it was, HPE had a good switching business, acquired Aruba, kind of brought the two together, and then we've just been on a really good trajectory since. So we kind of got that complete good quality enterprise kit now across wireless and wired, and that's filtered through into Instant On. So yes, yeah, they are.
In terms of physical build,
sorry, go ahead.
In terms of physical build quality, the products are very, very good quality as well. Switches are all metal construction. The APs are very much like the enterprise HP products, where you get that build quality.
Okay, sounds pretty good. I think you've got some on your table there. Do you want to hold some?
If I just move this award out of the way, we've got
a slight plug there for an award. Well, where did you get that from, by any chance? Anywhere important?
Yes, Phil. You Tech for Tech award last year.
Well, actually, it wasn't from us. It was all our members what voted. Nothing to do with us, but we just paid for it.
Yeah, the products are very good quality. The APs, really nicely packaged, solid metal construction on the switches. Yeah, just look the part.
Yeah, they look pretty sturdy, so they're not the bits of plastic, shall we say.
I wouldn't want to drop it on my foot.
No, likewise.
And Kunos were basically wanting to know, as you can probably see on the chat on the screen, is what's the quality like, or what's the price like, sorry, in comparison to a specific other company?
Like we mentioned earlier, the products are very cost effective against the competition. Let's put it that way.
Best thing to do is probably get in touch with Target, have a look on their website, speak to your account manager, and no doubt they'll be able to do something on the price if you're trying to do something. So that's the best thing about using a distributor is account managers, is usually you can have a word with them and sort some deals out or whatnot, or even if it's point of sales when they've managed to get it in and so forth, or even demo units when they're available as well. So we've got a few messages saying... well, we've got Peter saying, and they are available as well. So I think that's more of a statement. So you can actually get hold of their get hold of the stock. So that's pretty good. There we go. Let's put a full screen on so we can see everyone. So basically, everyone else is saying thank you and so forth. I'll leave it to you guys. Target now, John. You've got 2 minutes to tell Target, or obviously these products. Go ahead.
Oh well, can I? What, I'm allowed to sell both. Well,
you can do both. You can do both.
The obviously the Aruba. I mean, I've been playing around with this today. I usually play around with the other brands that we get to see. I am very impressed. We have put labels over these because for a particular reason. I downloaded the app. You literally take a photo of the access point, and it automatically finds it and puts it onto the network for you. It's that simple. It automatically sets everything else up for you. Great product. I would stand by it myself. I will be taking some more to do some more testing. I may even pop some videos up as I've done in the past. In regards to Target, I mean, we're not award winning for anything, as Phil knows. We've got 2 of them. We're very easy to deal with. We've got the backings of some of the biggest brands in the world. We're there to support both our customers and our vendors. And just give us a try if you've not, or come and see us at the Tech for Techs event if you're not already signed up for ours.
There we go. That sounds pretty good. So yeah, if you're already registered for the Target show, just a reminder, it's next Friday. If you forgot, otherwise, if you come into Tech for Techs or you're not coming to Tech for Techs yet, and you're going to book your ticket, it's on the 24th of June. With our event again, we are running out of tickets and they're going pretty quick. A few distributors have been emailing out invitations to their customers. So if you haven't got a ticket yet, I suggest you get one now. So basically, otherwise, we've got people just saying thank you. We've got William saying thank you, Canal, and Tony saying thank you as well. So it seems like you've answered everyone's questions. So that's pretty good. So, right, guys, we will have another show on next week. So that is Thursday at 8 o'clock. We've got quite a few shows lined up over the next few weeks on the run-up to the TechMax event. So next week we've got a company called WardWiz, which is a security / sort of a parental control company. We've got Microsoft or Windows 11 or whatever they want to be called these days, as well as VIP on the week after. We've got PAX 8 on as well the week after that. Utility, the warehouse as well the week after that. So you're looking at reselling, I don't know, power, electric, telephones, stuff like that. You've got an opportunity there to add in, again, something monthly. You can earn monthly. We've got Replace Base after that. And then basically it's the TechMax pre-show because the following week is TechMax itself. So we've got a few shows lined up. I would like to say thank you to Dan, and I got his name right this time. I remembered it. So we've got to say thank you to Dan. I should know his name. I've known him long enough and seen him and met him at multiple different locations and venues and events and stuff. And thank you to Cory, and also nice to meet you as well, Sam. And thanks for entertaining us tonight and letting us know all about Aruba. I'm going to say it looks like some interesting products there, and I'm pretty sure you'll get a lot of people contacting Target over the coming days and weeks and so forth with some interest in them. I'm pretty sure of that. They do look like they're going to do the job. And looks like you've done a good job as well, guys. Your boss is saying you've done a good job, so you should be okay. No P45s tomorrow or anything like that.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, I don't know about the pay rise you'll be wanting though, Dan, but you seem to have done a good job. So, right, guys, I'd just like to say thanks for all watching. We'll see you all next Thursday, 8 p.m. Every Thursday, 8 p.m. And, well, you know where we are by now. I'm just going to leave a little video on as we log out, and then I'll see you all next week. And Sam and Target, guys, if you just want to stay on the chat just after this little video, we'll have a quick word, okay? So thanks, everyone. Good night, and thanks for watching. See you next time.
Pleasure.
Can you go and meet hundreds of people just like you? Strengthen existing relationships and forge new ones with vendors and distributors, and meet some of the biggest names in the industry. Where you can go and see the newest tech and services that you need to make your IT business grow. Where there'll be thousands of pounds worth of prizes up for grabs. And what's more, you get all that for a quid. TechMax 2022 will be on the 24th of June at Bramwell Lane, the Sheffield United football stadium in Sheffield. There will be around 50 different brands available for you to meet, and up to 500 other techs just like you. Get registered now at techmax2022.co.uk.